A lot of us are in relationships, but not a lot of us are in healthy relationships. And I want to talk about that.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
So what's going on, you all, girl? It is time for me to talk about relationships. I've been wanting to talk about this, but I was like, girl, I'm not sure if I'm ready for it. But I have been talking about it on Patreon for those who've been following me for the last year. As you all know, I've been single for a year and a couple of months now, and I haven't talked about it as much publicly, but I have talked about it a lot on Patreon because I just feel like it's a safe space. But now a year into it, I'm like, okay, girl, let's give it, because a lot of folks need this advice, because I want to say this right off the rip. It is very easy to get into a relationship. Very easy to get into a relationship. But it is very hard for some people to get out of a relationship even when they know the relationship has ended. Like, girl, the relationship has ended. Y'all just ain't said it out loud. And I know a lot of this is going to be triggering for some folks, so I'm just going to go ahead and give a trigger warning, because we're going to be talking about some things and you might feel like I'm talking about you. And if that's the case, then girl, you need to get out your pen and paper and be like, you know what? Maybe I need to restructure. For the last year, that's all I've been doing is restructuring, learning, and find out who I am, who Justin is as a person, because in my relationship, my previous relationship, I had lost who Justin was. Because it wasn't about me. A bitch was working 24/7, like a full-time job, to keep my ex from cheating. Like, girl, and I noticed that some people are doing that now, and they just don't realize it. They set these quote-unquote boundaries up because you're in, like, insecurity. And insecurity is not a bad thing, but you have to have some control over yourself. Like, you have to teach yourself, like, hey, girl, you know what? Am I doing this because it is a legit boundary, or am I doing this because I don't want this person to cheat? I don't want to feel disrespected. You need to work on yourself. And honestly, this conversation all started from this very specific tweet, and I'm gonna read it out to you all. And I want to thank the people who started this conversation, because period. I really don't think monogamy is the problem. It's how a lot of us do and see traditional monogamy. A lot of the time it's full of toxic behaviors, terrible communication, unhealthy attachments, possessiveness. I've legit seen more bad monogamous relationships than good ones. And this person responded and said, the issue with monogamy is y'all want people to belong to you. Woo! So that you can own them instead of being together with them as a unit. And y'all have issues letting go of things. Additionally, many of y'all aren't actually monogamous. Let's talk about it. Also, y'all don't want to do any work. Long-term relationships take effort. Also, y'all have issues with the idea that people can and will change while they are with you. Also, many of y'all don't know how to heal or how to understand that other people are trying to heal. Period. Period, 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 period. I cannot say this louder. Like, this is perfect, and it's just like, write this down, as my friend said when I sent in this tweet, like, write this down because this is important information. The possessiveness. I've literally seen that in relationships, even my relationship. Now, I'm talking about my wig, even though I just got her done. Like, possessiveness, controlling, all that other stuff. And I had to really do some deep diving, like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm already a Leo, so I'm already a little bit of a control freak, but I'm doing more than I actually do in my relationships. And I was doing this because the person wasn't faithful. They were not like ready for a relationship, and I kept doing things to keep them from being keep them from cheating. I kept doing and setting boundaries to keep them from doing stuff. And it's just like, if I have to work a full-time job and keeping my partner from cheating, then I don't need to be in this relationship. And I think a lot of people fool themselves. They'll say that these things are boundaries. Like, I don't want this, I won't, ain't nobody staying in my nigga house, and ain't nobody doing this and that. And if my nigga going on a trip, I need to know who all is on there. I want to be so secure and so comfortable in my relationship that my partner can go out of town with their partners, and I'm not asking and doing a roll call of who, I've never met this person, because you're not going to know of every person. You're just not going to know. There's going to be some people, it's like, oh, like, I know so many people that you would even remember if you're just not going to remember, because sometimes I'd be forgetting, like, oh shit, that's such and such, stay in Memphis. But, you know, there's some people who feel like they have to set all of these boundaries, these things, and it's like, these are not even like legit boundaries, because boundaries are important. But these are things that you're doing because you are trying to protect yourself, because you feel like if you don't set these, this person is going to open up the chances of cheating happening. For instance, I need to know if my boyfriend or my future boyfriend has had sex with any of his friends. And I'm just like, I feel like it's a good one. But at the same time, like, girl, if you feel like that you have to ask and you have to know, that means that, girl, you are trying, if you do know. Let's say we do tell you, hey, I had sex with them, this, and that. What do you do now with this information? What do you do now? Now you're gonna sit up here, and if they go out with them and they spend the night, you're gonna automatically think that they're cheating or whatever. It's like, girl, it can be the person that they have not had sex with. So it's just like, even though it might sound like a legit boundary, it's bullshit at the end of the day, because you're trying to keep your partner from having sex with somebody they've had sex with before. And it's like, girl, that's not gonna stop them. If your partner wanna cheat, they're gonna cheat. You can do all of the things that you want to do, all the things that you can do, and your partner can still cheat. Take it from me. You can do everything in your power. And your partner, if your partner wants to cheat, they're gonna cheat. Like, I'm gonna give you all a story. Y'all sit back for this one. Y'all ready for this one? Come on. So, I'm gonna gaze into the future, because let me tell you something. I pay attention to everything. So I went to LA. I think this was like in 2020. What was this, last year? This was last year. I went to LA, and I left. I think I was gone for a week. I was doing something. I think it was something for, I don't know it's just a random trip or something, just going to LA. I think I had a YouTube dinner. Yeah, I had a YouTube dinner or something to go to. And this was either 2021 or I don't remember what it was. It was in 2021. And you know, me and my boyfriend were together, my ex was together at the time, and I had came back, and I noticed that the comforter duvet cover was like washed. I was like, girl, this duvet cover is like clean. Like, I wash sheets and I change sheets. My ex is not one of those folks who does like change sheets or whatever. That's not something he do. He'll do some other stuff, but that was some stuff that I would do. And I noticed, I said, this sheet just got to wash, like it's clean, it's like, what's it giving? Then I looked, and this thing just jumped out to me. I'm not even like necessarily looking, because at this time I knew that the relationship was ending. I knew that messed up stuff was going on. And I was just like, if it's meant for me to see it, I'll see it. Because in the relationship, there were times where I was that person going through the phone, checking this and that, and who is this person? I was going through it, girl. I literally had a PTSD from some shit. Like, I'm gonna tell y'all about it, because I just want to be honest. I mean, it's therapeutic for me. Girl, I looked at the duvet cover. It was some oil on it, and I said, "Oh, girl, this is definitely giving this is Swiss Navy, or this is gun oil." And it's at the edge of the bed, girl. So you was wearing some girl back out right on the edge of the bed. And I'm screaming, I'm like, oh girl, this is definitely lube. This is a lube stain. This is a lube stain. Like, this is a lube stain, and lube doesn't come out. Like, this duvet cover was white. So I'm like, okay, girl, he was in here doing something. At least he was a good enough man to wash the sheets and all that other stuff, and you know, clean up before I got there or whatever. Because I didn't tell him. I purposely didn't tell him when I was returning, because I wanted to catch him in the act. I wanted to do that. But also, if I called him, what was I gonna do? I was gonna put him out for a day or two and then let him come back. Like, girl, it's just like, and I had to tell my friends that I was like, girl, you know that your boyfriend is cheating. You know he's doing stuff. You're seeing these things, you're experiencing these things, these thoughts are in your head. Like, what is it going to take you to leave? Because you have all the answers. Even if you don't catch your boyfriend in direct act of cheating, you're already mentally knowing that it's happening. And you can't sleep, you can't, like, this is not healthy. This is not healthy. And yes, there are going to be good moments. Same with an abuser, it's going to be good moments. And it's going to be a hella bad moments. Like, you have to, like, you can't take those good moments and make it seem like that everything else is good. Like, girl, yeah, y'all might laugh and joke 1 minute, and then you go into work and then you worry about like your ex, like you worry about your boyfriend cheating. Like, girl, so fast forward a year later, a close friend to me revealed that he was in there, smashing, and he was getting his life. And I was like, girl, that's so interesting. He was bringing he was bringing these girls in or whatever, whoever was in there, and smashing them in a apartment that he was not even on the lease. Like, girl, you were not even on the lease, so you trying to show the girls like a good time, and you not. This ain't even your shit. Like, this ain't your shit. Like, it's just so interesting now that I think about it. But like, I see some people go through this same thing where they know that their partner is cheating, and they act like they want to know, they want to see it. I'm just like, even if you do see it, are you going to do anything about it? Because I literally had somebody call me. Oh my God, girl, I had somebody call me when was that? In 2020, right before the pandemic, and tell me, hey girl, it was giving Barbara Shirley type of situation. Like, your man is going smashing my man while he's going to work. Like, he pretended like he got to be at work at a certain time, but on his break he's smashing my man. And girl, I've caught them. My friend, who's my roommate, caught them in that. So, girl, like, these niggas gonna cheat. They're gonna cheat. But I'm not gonna say everybody cheats. But I'm just saying, if you feel like that you need to set boundaries and you need to do these things to keep your partner from cheating, doesn't even matter if they're cheating, because you're not even mentally stable, girl. Like, you literally are wasting time trying to make stuff like stop happening. You're trying to stop things from happening. You're devoting so much time to stopping things from happening, and it's not even going to work. So, like, girl, I've had to learn. I had to restructure. A bitch filed chapter 13. What is it? Chapter 13 and 7. But we're going to call it 13 since my birthday on the 13th. But I had to file chapter 13. I was like, girl, we need to restructure. We need to regroup. We need to find out what it is. And I had to realize that my past relationship, even though I do have a lot of, love and respect for him to some degree, the relationship was really built off of trauma bonding, because we were both going through these things and we just bonded together, but it was not a healthy relationship. And it was very hard for me to get out of it because I was like attached. I was attached. And now I think that's what's keeping me from wanting to be in another relationship so soon, because I need to investigate. I need to figure out, like, is Justin ready? If I want to be in a relationship, I could. But I don't want to be in a relationship and then I know that the relationship has ended and I'm still in the relationship. And I see so many people in relationships where it done burnt out. They done did all the stuff, they done had all the fun within the first couple of months and now they just stuck in this relationship. I don't want to be like that. I refuse to be in a relationship where it has ended, not even for financial. Let me tell you something. I do pretty good. I don't need another man. Matter of fact, my ex wasn't paying the damn bills for me. Like, he just wasn't paying no bills, girl. I think the only thing he was responsible for was the water bill. I don't remember what the bill was. It's like $100. I don't know. I want to be by myself. Like, I want to be able to be by myself. And a lot of people are not able to be by themselves because I wasn't. And I see that now is that some folks who are hopping in relationships because they can't sit with themselves. I think it's the same thing with somebody who just can't sit down. It scares them. It scares them. In the beginning of the pandemic, you had folks who were just like terrified of not being able to go out because that was their escape, because a lot of folks unfortunately did hate their lives, and not necessarily their fault, but all the things that was going on was just like they hated being inside. Like, they hated. I've always been able to go to the movies by myself. I've been able to go to a bar and just be by myself. I'm still working on some eras in my life where, like, me being alone or whatever, you're always gonna be forever working on yourself. But I know I've worked on the majority of stuff that was very, very big, because I don't want to be in a codependent relationship. And I've seen this, and that goes into the possessive conversation where, and the girls are doing, I'm like, girl, like, there's some stuff like, you got to be at home at a certain time so you can be the last time, like you be the last person to talk to him before he go to bed or before she go to bed, and y'all got to fall asleep on the phone every night, da-da-da. It's just like, girl, and I don't think nothing is wrong with it because I used to do this shit in high school. I used to do that stuff. Still probably do it every once in a while, but I'm grown as hell. Girl, I am not, I'll be 35. I am not doing that no more. I can't do it. I need to go to sleep. I need to rest so I can get up in the morning and I can do these things because this is some real shit. And I don't want to be to the point that I cannot sleep unless I'm falling asleep with this person on the phone or I am laying next to him. I need to be able to go to sleep. I need to be able to go to sleep, take my ass to sleep. Hey boo, da-da-da, I didn't talk to you tonight, da-da-da. Like, we'll talk, but I think some people like think, oh, this is real love. No, girl, this is codependent relationship. Like, this is somewhat of this. Like, you cannot function without this person. You cannot. Matter of fact, I want to look up what is the definition of a codependent relationship. 9 warnings of a codependent relationship. Let me see if I'm right. People pleasing. Woo! It's normal to want people to like you, and we all want our loved ones to be happy, but there's a difference between these normal tendencies and having to please people all the time. People pleasers often feel like they have no choice but to keep other people happy. Woo! Lack of boundaries. People in both roles in a codependent relationship tend to have problems recognizing and respecting and reinforcing boundaries. Having boundaries simply means you respect the other person's right to his or her own feelings and autonomy. Woo! Poor self-esteem. Woo! Typically, neither person in codependent relationship has very good self-esteem. One person needs the approval of the other, or at least needs to be of service to the other to have a sense of purpose. Caretaking, baby. A major sign of codependency is when you feel like you have to take care of everyone all the time. Woo! This is even dragging me. Like, this typically comes from childhood when the caretaker learns that they may be terrible consequences from failing to take care of a parent's needs. I haven't experienced that, but I do have some, caretaking. Reactivity, when your identity is based on pleasing others and you feel responsible for everyone's well-being, you might find yourself to react to situations rather than acting of your own volition. Woo! Poor communication. A codependent mindset makes it hard to communicate effectively. The caregiver is often unaware of her own wants and needs, and when she is aware of them, she may be reluctant to express them. Lack of self-image, dependency, and relationship stress. Wow, this is girl. Okay, let's give me an example of a codependent relationship. A woman is married to a man who is an alcoholic. She always puts his needs before her own and thinks she can help him become sober through showing him affection. Woo, she is unknowingly enabling him by giving him everything he requests and cover up for his destructive behavior. Woo, ooh. This is girl, I don't want to be in a relationship where a person is experiencing this, or even possessiveness. Like the fact that there's some, like I go again to the conversation of having to almost like ask to do something. Like, I do believe, and it makes me honestly think about, to come back, it makes me think about some of the monogamous heterosexual relationships where the man is supposed to be the head and the wife's supposed to ask for permission, do all these things, and da-da-da-da. And girl, that shit is unhealthy. That shit is so unhealthy. And I've seen queer people try to mimic these relationships and stuff where my man is let me know, and like I ain't talk to him. It's like, girl, and that goes into the healing thing. That some people haven't healed from their previous relationship where their ex might have cheated on them and was doing all these things and doing God knows what. And now it's a point where you are taking this baggage to this new relationship where the things that your ex were doing to hurt you, now you are doing these things, like you setting these boundaries to keep the current partner from doing the stuff that the ex was doing. And I remember I was giving this guy I had dated after my ex, and he was drinking a lot. He would drink a lot, but he wanted to take pictures when we went out. And this is something my ex wasn't doing. Like, I remember like complaining about this. Like, he never seems to want to be around me. He doesn't want to take pictures. I don't feel like I'm attractive. I don't feel beautiful. I don't feel like he wants me. I feel like he's ashamed of me. So this person was dealing with alcohol dependency, like very hard. And I was enabling them because they were feeding me something that I wasn't receiving in my previous relationship. Like, they were doing things where I wanted my ex to do. And it goes into the little 80-20 rule. It's like, oh my gosh, these things feel so good because I wasn't receiving it, but I had to really take a seat back. I was like, oh girl, this is not healthy. This person is, breaking my boundaries. They're not respecting my boundaries of these things and all this other stuff. And I'm just not happy. So I just stopped talking to them. But to go to some of the things, like, even I brought up PTSD. In my previous relationship, when it came to the weekend, I would get terrified when Thursdays would come around. I was like, oh my God, like, I know he's gonna ask to go to Bulldogs, and I do not feel like hearing about like Bulldogs and all that other stuff. And then just, he'll be like, I'm gonna go to Bulldogs, like I'm going out with my friends tonight, we about to go out, da, da, da. And I just know that when he goes out, he'll say that he will come home at a certain time. Like, hey boo, I'll be back at 2 or 3 o'clock. And he would not. I remember very specifically on Valentine's Day of 2020, where he went out, because Valentine's Day had fell on that Friday, and he had went to Bulldogs that Thursday night. And he had to be at work on Valentine's Day at 2 o'clock. That nigga went to Bulldogs that Thursday night and was gone and did not come back until 30 minutes till he had to be at work. Yeah, so it got so bad. It was just like I had PTSD from the relationship, like from like the weekend. When the weekend was like, I would be like, who, like it would just bother me because I knew he was going to say something. I knew it was going to be a situation where he did not. I used to hate the weekend, and I had to like. Now I'm in a place where the weekend isn't bad to me. I don't hate it, but that was something I had to work through, and we have to have some help. Talking to your friends is not enough. You got to talk to a therapist, a licensed therapist, all these other folks, because girl, it is important for you to figure out, like, girl, how can I be a better version of myself? How can I let some of these things go? How can I deal with these things? And it's gonna take time, mama. It's gonna take time. That's why, I felt like now I am ready for a relationship. I, did the work and did the stuff I need to do in the healing. But I know what a relationship, what comes with a relationship, what is needed in a relationship, and I don't want to provide that right now. I don't want to provide that because I don't want it to be a relationship that is going to be hard to get out of. I don't want to experience a relationship where I know it is gone and I'm still there. Like, I don't want to experience that at all. But this is my conversation. I will be doing more videos about this and tugging on the girls' wigs and all that other stuff, but I hope y'all learned something from it. Girls, take it into a discussion. Let's talk about it. Comment below. Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.